Hey, we on the J&J show on Power 109. As you may have heard by now, Drake punched in the face by Diddy outside of the Live nightclub in Miami. Some reports say it was over Cassie. Drake tried to spit game to her. Some reports say it was over music. Song 0 to 100. Apparently Diddy had the track first, and Drake took the music, threw his own verses on it, and made it that song 0 to 100 that everybody loves, that I like. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, Drake he irritates me in a lot of ways. So, hearing that he got punched in the face, I wasn't sad about it. I really ain't for the violence. There's a better way to resolve those kind of issues. Diddy is too fucking old to be punching people in the face outside of nightclubs and niggas going on 50 years old. He need to grow up a little bit, I think.
Yeah, especially because when he was young, he wasn't doing that shit. Nigga, you never heard him about punching Pac or Suge in the fucking face, all the shit they talked, all the shit they did.
Right.
Motherfucker wasn't doing nothing. He kept his damn hands to himself back then. Now that he's even older and really ain't supposed to be doing that shit, he's punching little niggas like Drake. Come on, man. Fuck out of here.
Yeah, and pretty suckerish considering it's Drake. I mean, Drake is like the most sensitive love song writing ass, I'll be sure ass nigga on the planet. Yeah, if you're gonna punch somebody in the face, I respect it if you punch, say, Trey Songz or
Chris fucking Brown.
Chris Brown or August Alsina or something. Like, you're gonna punch one of these singing ass niggas, punch one of them.
Yeah.
But to punch Drake, it's like, oh, come on, Diddy. Shit. You might as well beat up a woman. I mean, it's... But at the end of the day, man, you hear more and more about Drake getting into scuffles with people. Him and Chris Brown had their issues. Somebody else, I'm not going to mention it by name, but they said that they were close to putting hands on Drake when we spoke to him. So, but I guess this is what happens in hip-hop. Everybody seems to have problems with everybody. But again, Diddy, and as far as still in music, that's all Diddy did for a long time. It was take an old beat from one song, an old hook from another song, put it together and put it out there. And granted, he gave us some hits back in the day, but that shit got old quick. And people caught on that that's all he's doing, really, is taking a whole hook from this old song, a beat from this old song, throwing it together and acting like he's somehow the dance floor king, and that shit faded little by little. So in actuality, I'm kind of glad Drake took that beat and did something hot with it, because I rock to that song. I work out to it and shit, and I feel like if Diddy had gotten a hold of it himself, it would have just came out whack. Because
it would have been with it, so.
Right.
It would have been a waste of a beat, nigga.
That's what I'm saying. When's the last time you danced to some Diddy shit? It's been a minute, And Diddy is kind of turned into like the nigga that you really don't want to hear from, but he's cool. He's like an OG in the game. So he's cool with all the rappers and shit, and they'll let him get on tracks and rap and say different things here and there. But it's like the track really didn't need Diddy. Like, you hear it, you're like, did they really need Diddy on it? They could have did without it. But he's there, and you're like, all right, fuck it, whatever. But the rest of the song bump. So that's who he is. That's who he's sort of become. Whereas somebody like Jay-Z, who's almost 50, is actually relevant because he's talented as hell. And Eminem, who's old as a motherfucker, again, talented. Dr. Dre, old as hell, but talented still. I feel like Diddy's the only one who's really not all that talented. He's not somebody you really want to hear from, producing or rapping.
You said he was pretty much riding on everybody else. I mean, hey, because if you remember, he used to try and rap a little bit back in the day, and he was sorry as fuck. Wasn't nobody talking about, hey, yo, you got the new, you got the new pussy? You got the new Diddy? No, I mean, because he was terrible as a fucking rapper.
I'll tell you what, he did have that album, No Way Out. And that was very, very successful.
Oh yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, that was hot back in the day. But he didn't write any of his music, and I think he kind of lost his ear for music along the way, and his ability to make good music. Like, he came out with that Dirty Money album, which was hot garbage.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
And there's some of the things he did before and a little bit after that, were just straight up trash. So nobody's really checking for Diddy music-wise. But, I mean, of course, Drake is like the hottest nigga in the game right now, and for good reason. I mean, he's super talented. Very sensitive and soft, but he's talented. Probably one of the best rappers we have out right now, and musicians, period. So, you know, for him to take that track and to throw some slamming ass lyrics and shit on top of it was a good deal. I'm actually glad he stole it. And you know, I will say this, man. You know, Drake, get your weight up, man. Lift a little weights or something. Don't be letting 50-year-old men knock your ass out, steal on you and shit in public.
Yeah,
you're not fucked him up, you know.
Yeah,
because had it been me, Diddy wouldn't have got
man.
one punch off, and that would have been his ass.
Right.
You know, as soon as he had lifted that arm to swing or something, that'd have been it.
Get the nigga with an uppercut, knock his ass out in front of everybody.
I mean, I think that Diddy, you know, I think he knows who to pull the shit with and who not to pull it with. And I think Drake was the perfect candidate. Nigga, light skinned, nigga got a beard and shit with curly hair, and singing passionate love songs and things.
Yeah, that's why I said he never tried to pull that shit on nobody like Suge or nobody, you know, when they was going through all that shit. That was way back in the day.
Well, not only that, but I mean, if you recall, Diddy was speaking some serious black unity shit at the time. So while Suge was like, man, you know, if you tired of niggas, producers trying to be all in the video,
right.
they be dissing his ass every chance we had. You know,
it's
like one of the occasions where, you know, Suge basically was punking him every time he turned around. So, you know, to go from that Diddy to slapping the shit out of people outside of nightclubs it's a little wild. I mean, I have heard stories about Diddy fucking people up before, particularly Steve Stout. There's a big story out how Diddy whooped his ass back in the day and smashed champagne bottles and shit over top of his head.
There was actually another story. This interviewer, man, I forget his name, man, but he was a real flamboyant interviewer. He was a black guy, and he told the story about how Diddy roughed him up and took his interview tape when he had interviewed Diddy and asked him if he had anything to do with Biggie's death. And I guess Diddy got so fucking irate and mad that he grabbed the guy, roughed him up a little bit, and took all the fucking tapes and everything like that and the camera and everything and busted it up. And so that way the interview would never air and, you know, all that stuff. I mean, I don't know how true it is, but that's what he said.
So again,
very, very passionate about it.
Again, Diddy has no class when it comes to certain people, certain characters. I remember a few years ago when the Locks were on Hot 97, and they were, you know, Jadakiss Styles, and they were saying, yo, he's a thief. He stole from us. He ripped us off. He didn't give us our publishing. He didn't give us our royalties. He's a thief. And they were saying how they were ready to come up to his office and just wreck shit. And so Diddy called in. He was real humble. He's like, man, didn't nobody rob y'all? You know, if y'all want to talk, come to my office. Let's talk this out. And he was real humble. But, you know, it just a far difference from the slapping the shit out of somebody outside a nightclub Diddy that's walking around today. So, you know, again, Diddy, man, cut that shit out. We don't need the violence. And get your weight up, man. You know, don't be a sensitive love song ass nigga and then you slap too. You know, you can do the sensitive love songs, but like sort of stand up for yourself and fight back, nigga. I mean, if he snuck you and knocked you down, that's different. But I heard it was a 3-piece, so you know.
Oh,
yeah. You know, I mean, again, this is Diddy. This ain't Bernard Hopkins or anything, man. A Diddy 3-piece. I think the first one may have caught you, but then you could dip the other two. Sort of collect yourself and then, you know, grip a nigga up and tackle him a little bit or something. But, you know, Drake, shit, man, come on. Hey, either way, J&J show Power 1 or nothing. Diddy 1, Drake 0. Let's see what happens going forward.